So welcome back to Vintage Steel Garage. In the last episode on the Porsche 911 we stripped the shock absorbers down and found that one of them was defective and flung it in the bin. So I had to order some new shock absorbers which now arrived. Yeah, so these were their Bilstein B6 shock absorbers, which is slightly uprated from standard. B4 is meant to be the standard rating. And bizarrely the B4 are more expensive than the B6. So anyway, there they are, and I don't know why they're so expensive, because this is basically a shock tower on any car. Okay, it's tuned to this 911 with a piston on the top, and it's only really this cap here. You know, lots of cars have that at the bottom and that mounted at the bottom, and it's just this which is bespoke to the Porsche 911. Okay, it's got a sticker on it that says Bilstein, and it says Nuremberg, and it's got a little sticker on it, but that doesn't make it any better. Or actually no, that will add 50 brake horsepower easily each side. So shocks need rebuilding. I need to do the Pullman powder coating on the springs, which is basically wire brush and hammerite them. But this is where I think the beauty of home car mechanic compared to in a garage comes in. Your garage would have just got the new parts in, reassembled with them old springs. They wouldn't have been bothered. They'd have probably told you needed new springs, but they wouldn't have been bothered painting all these, taking them all back to bare metal, priming and painting them. They would have just put new ones on. They would have put your old shock covers back on, and all I've simply done here is wash this one, and you'll see, you know, it just looks, well, it looks like new really. There's no wear on it, it's nice, and it's going to look a lot nicer. Probably only me and the MOT man's going to see it, but makes me feel better. So we're going to clean all these parts, recondition them all, and then this is where these little brushes come in. Oh, we also have one other part. So I bought a new rear suspension arm, so we'll put that back on, which is the lower arm. And the reason I did that is there was some play in this bearing, in this ball joint at the end. This end was okay, but this end had some play. So I'll show you how we put that on, fit that as a new one, and that actually does have some camber compensation that you can have at the end here with an eccentric bolt, and I'll show you how we work on that. That's also got a holographic sticker on it, so that's probably worth another 10 brake horsepower. So this is what I've been busy doing around here. I've been busy cleaning all the suspension arms up, and again, your highly paid mechanic per hour will not be interested in this because he just wants to get the next car in, which is fair enough. So all I'm doing really is going over these with this little brush and cleaning all the crap off it to get back to the nice aluminium. See, there's a good example there. You can see all that just coming off. I'm going to also go up round here as well. You can see where we've got all the mud on the arch, get all that off. Clean all that down. And hopefully you'll see underneath here where they've cleaned on this side. That's that eccentric cam bolt I was talking about. There's another one on the back here underneath there. You can see where it goes in. So we've just got I made a mark where that was, so I've got to realign that to get that back arm to go back into here. But you can see I've cleaned this arm, cleaned the lower arm. I'm working my way along that one, and then that side is the side that I haven't cleaned. So I'll get back to you later once we've cleaned all the suspension up, cleaned the springs up and painted the springs, and we can start to reassemble that strut and get the strut back in the car. But there's probably a good couple of nights cleaning on this side before I move on to the other side. And again, that's what I say, that's the benefit of doing this yourself. I'm in no rush to get this car back on the road. It's not my main car. I'm not being paid by the hour. I've got the opportunity, it's nicely up in the air, it's in a dry garage. Let's get it cleaned and start to get that car, start to get those miles of wear and well, we can't get the wear and tear off it, but we can get the dirt that's built up over the years and start to making it look nice again. So rebuild of the shock is basically a reverse of the strip down. It's just a lot easier and a lot nicer and a lot cleaner. So the first part of it, I must admit I was surprised that wasn't a welded on seat for the bottom of the shock. This is basically this, so it's got a circlip there with a groove into the shock, and then that has a cutout in it and it just sits on. So basically put that on there, put the bump stop on that we've clean, so put that back on. Washer on the top. Put the spring on. No, got that the wrong way around. Put the spring on first. Then put the dust cover on with the bump stop. And then the top mount. So the top mount goes on like that. And then on the washer. Now with this one we can just get it to start without a spring compressor. And if I push it down a bit, get it to seat a bit further. And basically just pinch the end of this and tighten it up. There we go. Shock tower rebuilt. All I've got to do now is basically get the anti-roll bar link on the bottom there, which I'm just going to put a little bit of spray grease, copper slip on the thread, and a bit of copper slip just in the bottom of there as well, because that's where it had all corroded before. Just run that on there like that. There we go. 2 struts rebuilt, ready to go on. So this side is rebuilt and finished now. New shocks, that's all I've put on this side. I repainted the springs, cleaned all the inner arches, just put a blast of rust proof, you remember there's a bit of rust here, and then just sprayed over it with a bit of gloss black just to sort of lift it a little bit. Degrease the calipers, so it's looking pretty good. New rear control arm here, anti-roll bar still to go back on, but I'll wait till I've done the other side. You can see where I've cleaned it along here, not cleaned it this side. These arms will need to come off at some point, these here, and be painted. This one's probably okay, it's just a bit of surface rust, whereas this one, well, started hitting it, just tapping it, and it's actually gone through there, it's rotten. So that is going to have to be replaced. So there's something else to replace on it. But it'll sort of be drivable for now. But I'll get that replaced, get one on order, and get that replaced. When you tighten these bolts up, these bolts here, and the lower shock absorber bolt, just make sure you've actually got it at right height. What I did is I basically put a jack underneath here until it starts to just lift off the quick jacks, and then you know you're sort of at road height, and nipped all the suspension up so you don't tweak everything up. I've just got still inside to fatten up, but I'm going to rebuild this side, clean all this side off, get this on, and hopefully I can get for a test drive. So that's both sides completed now. All the interior trimmed back together. That was fun. Got a lot of crap in my hair. So both sides are done now. If we have a look underneath, so we've got that side all nice and cleaned up, and this side up with a new shock on. What we have noticed is there's a suspension arm, cross member arm here with a hole in, so these need replacing. I also need to replace the bushes in the anti-roll bar here, both sides, so I'm going to take that off, clean it up, treat all the rust and get that back on, and we should be okay. So just a test drive to go, and let's see how that goes. So test run complete, car running nice now. The suspension is spot on at the back, a lot firmer than the 986. Replaced the rear tyres because they were a bit low. Had all the four wheels balanced, so there was a bit of vibration in the steering, so that's gone now. Never overlook the obvious. Steering is spot on now, so I was really pleased with that. That was a quick fix, just some greasing of that universal joint, and it's ultra precise, the steering now. Great feedback from it. The coolant leak, I've replaced the cap. I've done about 400 miles and it hasn't lost any coolant, so it could be that, but I still can't believe it was that easy. So we'll see how we're going on that. The next thing is to replace the rear cross brace arms, which I'll just show you what I've got in the back of the garage here. Work my way through. Yeah, so the next thing I want to be doing is replacing the rear cross braces, which are these here. So these, you saw me poke the screwdriver through them. These, which are just an oval cross section with a little rubber mount on there and a stud on a bolt there, and are probably, what, 2 foot long, £220 each. Not paying that. Breakers yard near me, Douglas Valley Breakers, £40 each. Now there's a bit of surface rust on them, you can see, and they'll need a paint, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to rust treat them, get all the rust off, paint them, might paint them yellow, don't know, get the anti-roll bar off as well because that was a bit corroded, paint that. But I haven't had any new surprises on this car so far, so that's good. So I think we're now working our way down the list, which is going to put new pads on, EBC pads, because I did that on the Porsche and it dramatically improved the brakes. So I'm going to put new brake pads on, do the suspension arms, anti-roll bar front and rear, new bushes, paint them because they're a bit corroded and tatty. Then it's probably MOT time. Then we need to just get some miles on it. Already booked for Le Mans 2023, so that should be a good road trip in it. But as I say, I've probably done about 400 or 500 miles in it. Nothing else has shook out yet as a problem, so I'm really pleased with it, and having great fun driving it. So please tune in next time when we're doing the rear cross members and the anti-roll bars. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.